Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I got my dog throwing his stick. We heard a bunch of coming across the street. I figured it was a bunch of locusts or bugs. I don't know, June bugs or something. They flew over our head probably 7, 8 feet. One of them hit the pole, and you could hear it on the ground. I thought it was one of those katydid things. But you tell me, why in the would this right here be flying around? Somebody please explain to me what that is. And I found out as I was picking it up, if you squeeze that on the end on each end, then it's going to do it one time, then I guess it shuts it off. So somebody, for the love of God, please tell me what that is. Stop it.
So our little blob made it to Newsweek. Well, you won't believe what I'm showing you now. I thought I'd go back in time. This is February 14th at 2 a.m. And this is 5 a.m. These seem to be parallel lines of activity, spaced evenly. Here's where it gets freaky. Someone wrote to me suggesting I look at the time lapse of Bouvet Island on Google Earth. Watch what happens when our lovely little island gets to 2017. Fun. It's blued out. But here's the thing. It's blued out for 6 years. Why is our little island blued out for 6 years?
Oh my god, this is insane.
It doesn't even like come up as dark as it is. Oh, there we go.
Urgent
That's
tornado
scary.
for entire Star Cause.
That's scary.
We're gonna die. Okay, bye-bye.
Bro, it's getting dark. Bro, you can't see it on camera, but it's getting... Oh, it's coming right under us, bro. I mean, right over us. Holy!
Oh man, y'all pray for me, okay? It's about to go.
Oh, yeah, we about to get wild.
Coming in quick.
Look him out there, look him out there.
Don't you find it passing strange that in World War I, Max Warburg, who was head of German intelligence and a big leading banker there in Germany, his brother, Paul Warburg, founded the Federal Reserve System in our country, and at that time was head of the financial end of World War I for the United States of America. And here's the house on Jekyll Island where the plans were laid to instill upon us the Federal Reserve System, which is neither federal nor has any reserves. It's a system of 12 banks that are in turn owned by other private banks. And in fact, most of the studies that have been done show that the majority of ownership in the banks that control the Federal Reserve are held by people who are not even Americans. There's old Paul. He headed up the original Federal Reserve Board. And here we see Woodrow Wilson and Colonel House and his wife. And this is where it begins to tie into the older secret societies, because as I pointed out, Trilateral Commission connects to the CFR. The Intercorps leadership is Bilderberger. The CFR was created right after World War I by Colonel House, Bernard Baruch, and others to try to sell us on the idea of globalization. And these folks had been members of the old Cecil Rhodes secret society called the Round Table.
All right, so check it out. ISS. Are they playing with layers? Like, where did this guy just faded in? He'll fade out in a second.
This is live, or was live, right?
It's live. Well, this is what we're seeing. And then, wait, that just shows you right there. It's all, right? This guy, where'd he go?
And this is supposed to be live on TV. That's how we're seeing these, right? Like at one point, these were live.
This is from their video. So this is showing you that they're using green screens and all sorts of stuff. And this one, what's going on there? Right? So this is a close-up of the Mars rover, and we're zooming in on the picture. And as we zoom in, what do we see?
A fly.
A fly.
Space flight at first spot.
There's life on Mars. That proves that there's life on Mars.
Oh, this would be groundbreaking, revolutionary. There must be water on Mars then too.
Must be.
And more bugs for that thing to eat, or maybe it eats space rocks. The first space-eating rocks fly.
There are currently 42 cloud seeding projects across the American West, like this one in Utah, where they take planes like this with flares attached. They fly right into the storm and send microscopic particles into the cloud. Particles that act like magnets for water droplets, bonding together until they are heavy enough to fall to the ground as rain or snow. At the University of Colorado, researchers are working on artificial intelligence to deploy cloud seeding drones.
And it's not just cloud seeding from the sky. There are hundreds of those things. That shack you see in the foreground is a ground-based cloud seeder. The little flame coming out is sending tiny silver iodide particles up into the sky. When a storm comes through, they go up to 2,000 feet above our head, into the storm, up those mountains, and make more snow than it naturally would.
While cloud seeding has been helping get every last drop out of some of the driest years on record, this past winter, Mother Nature came through. The Southern Rockies, which feed the Colorado River, got more than 4 times their average snow. But experts say it's still not enough.
As much as cloud seeding is a boost or a help, it's not a solution. The main solution is
conservation.
Cloud seeding is most successful in wet years, so this was a huge winter for them. They actually stopped early because Mother Nature was giving up so much. Now, studies have shown that the environmental impacts from the silver iodide, on the current scale, there are no impacts to snow or rain, also downstream, so it doesn't impact, the other weather. They do anticipate at least 200 more ground cloud seeders in the future, and the federal government has committed $2.6 million to seeding.
His Majesty King Charles just unveiled the latest portrait since his coronation. But people are pointing out some strange things about it. The first thing is that it kind of looks demonic and evil. The next thing is there is a monarch butterfly, which we know are sadly endangered, which we should do something about, but monarchs is usually referencing Project Monarch, which I'll let you research because it is quite shocking and I probably can't talk about it on here. But the really strange thing is what happens when you flip the portrait upside down and mirror the image. Look at this. Now this is no editing, it's just mirroring the image and merging them together and putting them upside down. Do you see the goat mouth, the 2 eyeballs, and the horns? That is Baphomet. If you didn't know, Baphomet is a very weird demonic thing, and they apparently quite have a fond feeling about this ancient deity. Also, the dimensions of this portrait is 8 foot 6 inches by 6 foot 6 inches. So you got a nice 666 in there as well. What else would you expect?
There'll be a certain set of jobs where you're just moving documents around and looking at documents, say, accounting or medical claims, where the depth of understanding in those jobs is pretty straightforward. And some of those jobs will just be purely automated. Then there'll be a ton of jobs where they're still being done by humans, like making greeting cards. And I went back and watched the movie Her, because it raises in a pretty...
I thought greeting cards were definitely going to be automated, because now you can have mass customization of greeting cards.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, you probably can do it by yourself, to, take, Dolly 10 and say, hey, here's how I want to make fun of my sister, remind her about this thing from the past, and here's some photos to stick in that. So yeah, you might eliminate the professional there because it's very, you and the AI can do it in a very bespoke way. But there'll be a lot of jobs left that are just more productive, and that, where you have this kind of co-pilot that's taking the, convert the PowerPoint to a Word document, and boom, that draft is available for you to have as the starting point. And, so that extra productivity will create, new opportunity to take things like medical care and make it better, education and make it better, care of the elderly and make it better. productivity is a good thing, and people have been bemoaning, and there's many books about, we had electricity, and then since then everything hasn't been quite, at least the way it reflects into economic figures, as dramatic as what happened there.
It's not about controlling you, they say. It's about convenience. The mark of the beast isn't coming soon, they say. There will never be a mark that will keep you from buying and selling if you don't do exactly what they want. As companies like JP Morgan and MasterCard are on board with a biometric breakthrough this year, you may soon have to start paying with your face. And no, I don't mean pulling out your phone and scanning your phone as a security system to use your card. I mean scanning your face on the way in the building to pay or to eat or to get your loyalty reward. Like good little cattle, we'll all line up at the door. Let them scan our faces. Most quick service restaurants require consumers to provide their loyalty rewards information to earn rewards, which means pulling out a phone or opening an app, finding the link to the loyalty QR code, and then presenting the QR code to the cashier or reader for payment. Consumers are typically choosing between pulling out their wallet, selecting a credit card, and then dipping or tapping the card with their phone, opening with Face ID, and then presenting it to the reader. Miller says Pop-Up ID simplifies this process by requiring just tapping an on-screen button and then looking briefly at a camera for both loyalty check-in and payment. Yeah, I'd say we're getting pretty close, boys and girls.
Neighborhood do you think I'm in?
This appears to be the King's Cross area of London. It is known for its railway station and transportation connections.
Do you remember where you saw my glasses?
Yes, I do. Your glasses were on the desk near a red apple.
He sees this, right? You're telling me that HARP has been doing a research campaign from May 8th to May 10th, specifically a high-frequency active auroral research program. Is this not sketchy to anybody else? And did you know that this is not actually the first time that they did this research? No, November of 2023, HARP, artificial air glow to light up the skies in Alaska. As you can see, anyone in Alaska was able to see the artificial air glow created by HARP. That time being a 4-day campaign. And supposedly on that day, HARP created an air glow at a specific point in the sky. They give you a whole bunch of information as to how they've been planning this research for quite some time. As you can see, the National Science Foundation in 2021 awarded the UAF Geophysical Institute a 5-year, $9.3 million grant to establish the Sub-Auroral Geophysical Observatory at HARP. The observatory explores Earth's upper atmosphere and geospace environment, with scientists investigating ionosphere mechanisms that cause optical emissions, saying that they'll also try to understand whether certain plasma waves amplify other low-frequency waves, and they'll investigate how satellites can use plasma waves in the ionosphere for collision detection and avoidance. Each day of this experiment that happened in November, the airglow could be visible up to 300 miles from the HARP facility. Is that not sketchy to anybody? As you can see here, this was their most recent experiment. I'm sure it's no coincidence that the Aurora Borealis itself has been the farthest south as of recently than it's ever been in history. Quite literally visible in Alabama, even Florida. I mean, is anything even natural anymore? People really need to get in touch with the reality around them. And then people need to actually discover what frequencies are capable of doing. Because this just feels like playing God.